you are? This is E-Man Booze. Several months ago, we featured Green Hat Gin as the distillery of the month on MainStreetDistilleries.com. And I went down to the distillery, I think in early March or so, and I met with co-owners Michael Lowe and John Uselton, and they were so nice. They took me all around the distillery, showed me how the gins were made, let me taste all three of the gins, and explain the differences between the three. And I've uploaded a couple of videos on my YouTube channel that does explain the difference between the three. So go back on YouTube and check them out if you missed them. This afternoon, what we're going to do is we're going to get a little peek here into the spring summer blend, and we're going to make a great cocktail called a Negroni. You see, 2 weeks ago was National Negroni Week, and old E-Man Booze is sleeping at the wheel half of the time, so he missed it. It don't matter, we're going to make a Negroni tonight, and we're going to use this here Green Hat Gin Spring Summer Blend. Let's get a little in the glass first here, and see what some of the differences in this gin is compared to the standard gin, and nose it up and give it a little taste. Now let me say something here. The spring blend has more citrus in it. They use 4 different types of citrus. They dial back the juniper a little bit. They put in things like clover blossoms and rose hips and rose petals and rosemary. So, and then they distill it at a higher proof, because the theory behind it is, in the spring and summer, you're making cocktails with ice. And when you're mixing the gin in with these other things, you got to have a little bit more alcohol to help stand up to all the other flavorings. And I think that's the correct approach here for the spring summer blend. But let's nose it up here for a minute. You get the classic juniper in the note, but it is dialed back. And then you're picking up a lot of the citrus tones and the rose notes. And the other botanicals, which are the cardamoms and corianders and things of that nature. You get them in there too. Let's give it a little taste. Mouth feels good. Got a little bit of pepperiness on the back note. Definitely got the citrus tones in there. This is going to be a winner when we make this cocktail here. So let's make the cocktail. How do you do it? Well, your classic Negroni is 1 part gin. Get that in a glass here. 1 part gin. 1 part sweet vermouth. Now this bottle here from a really good Italian producer called Giuseppe Carpano. So we're going to use his sweet vermouth because we know his vermouth is good. It's great, actually. It's expensive as all hell, too. Sometimes when you're making cocktails, it's not just about the price, it's just about using the right ingredients. Let's get this back on the bottle here. Now, the third ingredient is this crazy stuff here called Campari. Campari had been made a long time ago, since the early 1900s. And it is a bitter Italian liqueur. And it's made from a fruit called what do they call this thing here? A chinotto. It's kind of like a bitter orange. And there's also something in here called cascarilla. Cascarilla, however you pronounce it. That's an herb. So you got a bunch of different herbs and different things there. And it is bitter. Mark my words. But it stands up great to the sweetness here in the vermouth. So let's get it all mixed in. Oh, last but not least, you got to get a little squeeze of orange. So throw that in there too. Get it all mixed up in here. Let's get them mixed up in here. The color's beautiful. Funny note here on this Campari. Up until about 2006 or so, the coloring of this liqueur was made with a substance called carmine, which was a bunch of crushed insect bodies. Crazy. I know. It ain't like that no more. The beetle police saw to that. But some people used to call it beetle juice. Let's taste this cocktail here, see what we thinking about it here. That is delicious. It's bitter now. It got a little bit of bitterness, but that's what a Negroni is. You get the sweetness of the Campari and the sweet vermouth. The interplay of the gin, though, works wonderful with the citrus notes and the bitter notes. This is a winner right here. And I recommend you try it. I recommend you make the cocktail. It is a classic cocktail. And it grows on you. If you're not real used to bitter stuff, after you drink about 2 or 3 of these, bitter go right out the window, and you'll love them. Take my word for it. All right, now, Green Hat Gin. You can learn a lot about them by going on the website, greenhatgin.com. Check me out. I'm E-Man Booze. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I write the Distillery of the Month column for MainStreetDistilleries.com. Bye, you all!